Today on CCX News, the hits, runs, and angry shouts of this year's legislative session. One local lawmaker sits down with CCX News to look back at what got done and what didn't. The state legislature ended the session in a messy fashion. There were shouting matches and missed deadlines. Reporter Kevin Miller spoke with a local senator about the ups and downs of drafting this year's bills.
Leadership USA! Willing to do. USA!
The end of this year's legislative session produced shouting from unhappy Republicans in the Senate chamber.
It was the first time in history that I'd ever seen the upper chamber or the Senate act that way.
Democrat majorities in both chambers were attempting to break gridlock with omnibus bills that were nearly 3,000 pages long.
There's been displeasure in the past, but never have I ever seen anything like that in my entire life.
Despite the rowdy finish, Senator John Hoffman, a Democrat who represents Brooklyn Park, says the session was productive.
So those common sense stuff did get done. There was a bunch of stuff that got done. I hope it doesn't get overshadowed by the disrespect that was seen the last 24 hours.
Hoffman chairs the Health and Human Services Committee. He says their bills had less partisan infighting.
It's really talking about those things that are impactful and important to communities. And that's what we did. Whether you agree or disagree with it, there's never any that kind of, well, you're right, I'm wrong kind of thing.
But it's not all positive. This year, the legislature missed the opportunity to pass an infrastructure bonding bill. Representative Kristen Robbins, a Republican from Maple Grove, said in a tweet that Democrats' bad clock management was to blame. Hoffman said he was surprised the legislature couldn't get a bonding bill together. He was pushing to help build a biotech innovation district in Brooklyn Park on Highway 610.
If you drive through 610, you see Takeda Industries, you see, Biomerics, you see these organizations that are coming here because of our students that are coming out of our community colleges and the fact that it's friendly.
He says it's a missed opportunity.
You look at, next year, okay, we can do it next year. But it was really disappointing to see that stuff didn't get accomplished. And when I thought all along that they were good.
Kevin Miller, CCX News.
Brooklyn Park police are investigating a robbery after an attempted Facebook Marketplace sale. Police say the victims arranged to meet someone Tuesday evening to purchase a cell phone through Facebook Marketplace. The meeting occurred in the 7600 block of Humboldt Avenue North. When the buyers showed up, two boys showed handguns, then took cash, a phone, and other valuables. The robbers ran off before getting into a waiting vehicle. Police say it serves as a reminder to arrange internet transactions at a safe swap spot, such as the Brooklyn Park Police Station. Investigators will tell you that an arson is one of the most difficult crimes to prove, but a team in Maple Grove was able to do just that with one of the most notable fires for the city in recent memory. Lynde Cleveland shows us how they did it.
Early a.m., we had a report of a passerby that the greenhouse was on fire.
In October of 2022, a fire destroyed much of Lynde greenhouse in Maple Grove.
It was a devastating fire, not only to the business, but to the community. The losses are in excess of $10 million.
Maple Grove Fire Inspector Eric Lynde helped to determine what happened.
Ultimately, we found a 5-gallon gas can that was out of place, according to the business owner, and that led us to believe that we might have had an intentional act.
Once arson was established, that's when Maple Grove detective John Beckers got involved.
For arson, it's very technical and very scientific compared to other crimes where you're just trying to reach that probable cause threshold to charge and prosecute somebody.
The investigative team worked for months to gather evidence, but ultimately tips from the public helped them solve the case.
We were provided with names, identities of the suspects, images of them at the greenhouse.
So without the public's help and input in this investigation, it likely would have been an undetermined fire.
Those tips led to charges against 3 juveniles between the ages of 14 and 15 who posted about their involvement on social media.
There appeared to be drugs and alcohol involved. There didn't seem to be any clear intent.
For their role in finding those responsible, the Minnesota Association of Arson Investigators awarded the team with the prestigious Fire Investigation Team of the Year award.
Quite an honor to receive that award.
Well-deserved recognition for a crime that doesn't always get solved.
It's really pleasing to be able to provide some closure to the business owner and to the community at large.
Lynde Cleveland, CCX News.
It's a big week for Perpich Arts High School students. Friday is graduation day. And there's an opportunity for next year's graduating class to show off their artwork.
shows a lot of growth that has taken place over these students' first year here at Perpich. The stuff that they're making now is radically different from what they came in with just 9 months ago.
You're looking at the student exhibit called Emerging. It features the work of Perpich junior students who created art in a wide range of mediums, everything from sculptures and ceramics to paintings, photography, and digital art. Every student selected 2 pieces to put on display.
When you come look at the work, there's not only attractive imagery to enjoy, but there is an artist statement with every single piece where that artist is describing what they were thinking about, how they made the piece, so describing that process for anyone who maybe is unfamiliar with how the work is made, and then maybe how they feel about the result of it or what they learned from that experience.
Perpich is open to the public from 8 to 4 throughout the summer. We'll leave you now with more of what you can see.
The past 2 state champions in Class 2A boys tennis have come from Section 5. Orono won it all in 2022, and Wayzata took home the state title last year. The Trojans and Spartans once again faced off in the Section 5 2A final. Chaz Moots has the highlights.
The 5AA final between Wayzata and Orono moved indoors to the Rogers Tennis Club. In first doubles, Ethan Badoon and Carming Poon won handily in straight sets. In second doubles, Ethan turned in with a return. Thomas Prodzinski goes down the middle for the point. Prodzinski in 7th grade, turning in an 8th grader. Then moments later, Prodzinski sends it over. Orono can't return it back. That would be match point. The young duo win it 6-1, 6-0. Next court over in third singles, Rishi Rajith, a good forehand return on the right side, then goes up top and back to the right side for the point. Rajith was in a 3-6, 6-4 battle with Anthony Perrell, but couldn't finish the match due to cramps. Fourth singles, Jacob Salisbury backhand return, then he runs up at the net and goes forehand for the point. Salisbury won his match 6-4, 6-3. Great matchup in first singles, 2 of the best in the state in Aaron Badoon and Hugh Perrell. Perrell took the first set 7-6, Badoon wins the second 6-2. Badoon and Perrell went back and forth all afternoon. A great play here from Badoon. Perfect placement of the ball right inside the line. Badoon won the third set 10-6 and defeats Perrell. Right next door to Badoon was Tanae Pangalori battling the Spartans' Owen Scansey. Pangalori goes overhead for the point. The senior took the first set 6-2. Then in the second set, Pangalori has Scansey on the ropes and delivers the match point and the section title clinching point for the Trojans. Wayzata is heading back to the state meet. They defeat Orono 6-1 in the Section 5 AA title.
Oh, that's great. You know, being the senior, clinching it for the team, you know, that kind of just shows how much I've prepared, how much I want that win. And, you know, the whole team rushing out on me, it just felt great, you know. No better feeling than that in sports, you know. Orono, they're a tough team. They upset us 2 years ago, and we take this match seriously every single time. You know, as a senior, especially myself, I don't want that to happen again. I want to win, and I want to go to the state finals, you know, just to repeat. You know, we're the defending state champs, and we want to defend that title.
In Rogers, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
Singles and doubles play follows the section team competition with the state tournament June 4th through the 7th in Minneapolis. Tuesday's rain pushed back the start of the Section 5 4A softball playoffs one day. Earlier this week, we visited one local team with high hopes for a long playoff run.
It's an old adage in sports, especially when you get to the playoffs. Take it one day at a time. That's what the Champlin Park softball team is focusing on as they start playing the Section 5 4A tournament.
We have to just play game by game. Like, we can't be thinking, oh, we'll play Friday, this team Friday, what team do we play next? Like, we just have to take it game by game or else we're not going to get there.
The Rebels are 18-2, the number 2 seed in Section 5 4A, riding a school record 15-game winning streak.
Pitching's been our key, and strategic hitting, getting those clutch hits, those big RBIs when you absolutely need them. And so yeah, our pitching has been phenomenal. Our defense has been real solid.
Rogers is the section's top seed. They beat Champlin Park head-to-head back in April. But the Rebels say there are several teams with a shot at winning this section.
Yeah, our section is a really good section. I feel like Maple Grove, Rogers, Spring Lake Park, they're all strong teams, but we're right there with them. And I feel like it's just going to come down to a couple runs, and we'll see.
But we did set ourselves up for a pretty nice situation where we should get at least a couple of home games before we have to go on the road for sure.
The first 3 rounds in Section 5 4A will conclude by Friday afternoon, with the final 4 teams advancing to next week.
That's all for sports. More CCX News after this.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.